Ooh, Blaze is looking nice and crisp this morning.
What is up?
What's happening? What's happening? How are you?
We're doing good. Went to yoga this morning. Um, Still got my phone mount, and vibes are pretty good today.
Nice. This phone mount is really doing good things for you. I like this.
Right? How are you?
I'm good. I was thinking about you this morning. Sometimes I've been really appreciating having some time in the morning, getting on a walk, and I'll do like a quick little like health dad stream. It helps me
Yeah.
kind of get my thoughts out, which is always great. Uh, but I didn't have it this morning. But I did have my bike ride into the city, which is really great. But for some reason, I couldn't get you out of my head. Look at my fingers, by the way. I burned my fingers.
Oh my gosh.
I'll tell you what I did in a second. It was dumb. But I was thinking about you, and you're not getting enough credit, I think, for setting people up with, feeling comfortable getting on stream, getting onto selling stuff over on Whatnot, like for their first time, or getting connected with the community. Blaze, that's a really cool thing you're doing. I feel like I'm grateful that you had planned to do that. You're taking time out of your day to make sure that you're coordinating all those things. That's a huge thing. That's really great.
Oh, thanks, man. One thing that I'm always thinking about is like, 'cause I always want to be an entrepreneur and like sell stuff and all this, but I think my special gift is I'm a connector. I think I'm like, whenever I meet someone, my first thought is always, oh my gosh, how can I introduce this person to this person? And so I'm trying to lean into that a lot more and see like how I can connect people more. And that's one of the things that I used to do this a long time ago and whatnot for comic books. And I don't do that a lot anymore, but I'm like, everyone's jumping into whatnot. And there's these random streams, which is awesome. But what I worry about the most for whatnot is like, let's say I went live right now, and it's my first show, and I'm starting everything at $1. Like, I'm going to lose a lot of money on this product if I don't have the right audience. So part of the drive for me is, can we set these people up to do their first Whatnot show? And for some people, it might be the only Whatnot show they ever do, and that's fine. But for some people, they might be like, hey, you know what? I really like this. Maybe I'm going to start selling spoons or mugs or um, wasp nests. So, thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I think it's a really cool thing. I know that it's definitely something that you wanted to do. But yeah, I want to make sure I'm giving you all the love and the credit for that because I think you definitely deserve it. So good morning, Jason. Good morning, Dylan. Good morning, Craig. We love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. We got Robbie in the chat as well, holding it down with our OGs. So guys, thank you so much. Um, how about gratitude from you though? What are you feeling like? And for anyone else, please drop your gratitude. Let's make sure we're sharing it. It's important.
Last night after dinner, we went to the playground, and my daughter like wanted to practice cross with me, and I thought that was like the biggest win because last year I feel it was a lot of cleat dragging, and this year it's like she's showing me like drills they're doing in practice and stuff, and so like that filled me with like so much joy, and so I'm hoping that like her brother starts to see that and wants to do that more. And if not, that's okay, but that just really like filled my cup yesterday.
I love that. One thing. I love your phone mount. I'm curious. For some reason, when you're talking, it breaks up a little bit. That's why I thought it was the air yesterday. I don't know what it is now. Maybe it's the picking up the road as you drive.
Let me know if that's better. I just turned off the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth, and sometimes I feel that makes the connection a little bit stronger.
Oh, dude, 100% better right now.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so it definitely works. Okay, cool. Glad we figured that out. But again, wait, your gratitude was more about your kids seeing each other do things. Is that really what you were saying?
More just them being willing to go to the playground like 5 minutes away from our house last night and not like fighting me about wanting more screen time or eating all the ice cream sandwiches in the freezer or something like that.
Awesome. Yeah, I always feel as if it's hard with making sure screen time is a hard one. I feel like we've been doing a lot of screen time. Like we just ended our summer, I feel like, so it definitely I think is a hard thing to like not have so many screens around. But like we have this transition at the moment of like getting them away from screens and like to reading or anything else. But I think it's going to be a little bit challenged, but it's good. And maybe getting them outside is going to be more of the idea that we have to do. So thanks for that reminder.
Yeah. Did you guys read Sylvester and the Magic Pebble yet?
Oh, God, thanks for bringing it up. So if no one remembers, and if anyone is checking in from any of the streams over here, because we know that right now we're streaming to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch right now, and also X in 2 places. If you guys want to get in the chat and be live with us, you can guys head over to Twitch, VDads Official. I forget where we're putting all these names out, but VDads Official over on Twitch. Come join the chat if you guys want to do that. I know we have we got 14 people, 15 people checking in right now. Most people are coming in. My Daily Dads, all right. My Daily Dads over on X is really the main spot people are viewing from right now. Awesome. So, but head over to, if you want to get part of the chat, be part of us, then we want to make sure that you guys can. But this month, talking in The Daily Dad, the book from Ryan Holiday, it's all about making sure that we get our kids into reading. And Blaze sent us a book. I finally got it. I think he sent it like 2 weeks ago.
Maybe.
And Blaze sent us the book, the Magic Pebble, right? Is that what it is?
Sylvester and the Magic Pebble.
Sylvester and the Magic Pebble. Can I start by saying it's frightening?
Oh yeah, it almost reminds me of one of those like German fairy tales that get pretty like gory. I mean, there's no like blood and gore in this book, but it's like a very cautionary tale about like be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, it is. And I would also say, tell me if you think this is wrong, Sylvester and the Magic Pebble, it's also about like, be grateful for what you have, I think also, right?
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's frightening. And I remember, I think I saw it as a cartoon one time and I was like, that's scary. But a lot of like those grim tales or any of those fairy tales that you're talking about, like, yeah, they're scary. So anyway, Blaze sent it to us as we're trying to kind of read more. And I know that, I read it to my girls for bedtime last night. I was scared. I was like, I hope they're okay. But when my daughter was younger, when Sloan was younger, there was this rock in our courtyard next to our building. And she would always be scared walking past it. We would go past this big rock, right? It was placed there. It came from somewhere. I don't know. But when she was younger, she would always be like, I'm scared there's a lion there. And for the longest time, we didn't know what she was talking about. And so I remember when I saw this book as a cartoon, I had put it together and I was like, wait a second, she's scared of the lion because the rock is part of the story and the lion doesn't end up eating the donkey in the story. But I was like, oh gosh, because I think that they read it in daycare or something like that, but she was always scared of it. And so we read it last night and like, it's frightening. If you guys don't know the story. So first of all, thank you so much for sending the book, because I think that was great. But the other thing is like, basically this child is granted the ability to make some wishes because he found this pebble, but then
he's a donkey. So he's a donkey. I don't know. What do you call a baby donkey? I don't know, but he's a donkey.
Yeah. Is it a foal? Would it be a foal? What is a baby donkey? Now I want to know. Oh, they're so cute. They're so cute. I'm looking up right now. Baby donkey. It's just called a baby donkey.
All right. Well, there you go.
I don't know. At least. Oh no, it's definitely called a foal. So a young donkey is a foal. So same thing as a horse. But so the story is basically like this foal. It's a kid. I mean, it's really a kid. That's what the story is, right? But it's a donkey. So this donkey finds a magic pebble, and he realizes this magic pebble will grant him wishes because he like controlled the weather with it basically, like by accident. He's like, oh wow, this is doing this. And so he gets in this precarious position where he's walking home and a lion sees him. Lion's like basically gonna eat him. And so he's like, I don't know what to do. I gotta save myself. And he accidentally, because he's so worked up, he accidentally wishes himself into a rock. So like, he's like, I wish I was a rock. So he wishes that he's a rock so he doesn't get eaten by the lion. And so he does, but now he can't get out of being a rock because he's not holding the pebble anymore. And like, it's the saddest thing because now at home, his parents are like looking for him. And as this donkey is a rock, he knows he's a rock, but he's there. He's like, I can't stop being a rock. And then he talks further about it. And it's like really sad because he's like, he's basically like, he's like walking himself through the probability of somebody finding this rock, sitting on the rock, finding the pebble, and wishing the rock they were sitting on becomes a donkey. And so he's like, it's like a 1,000,000,000 to 1 chance. Like, it's the saddest thing. Like, it's scary. I don't know. So scary. Anyway,
my 2 thoughts from that book are, one, I don't know where the thing that always takes me back is, when would a lion and a donkey be in the same kind of like environment, you know? But I just thought it's crazy that the lion comes, but it's not a mountain lion. It's like a roaring jungle lion, whereas donkeys are usually like pastures and farms. And the other thing is, like, he's missing for like months. Like, his family has no idea. And it does end up being a happy ending where he gets back to his family. I don't want to ruin it for anyone who hasn't read the book, but I love it, and I hope I didn't create any trauma in your children. It
was me. I feel like I was the one. Like, I don't know. The story like makes me so sad and scared. I was like, I don't want to make any wishes.
And I think that, you know, if we want to bring it back to My Daily Dads, is like, oh, I want to have kids. I love kids. Kids are the best. And then now we have kids, and I have 3 of them, and I know you have 2 of them. And it's some days where it's like, did I bite off more than I can chew? There's no return policy. I've talked about this before. If people want to say I'm a bad dad, whatever, but like, there's no return policy at the hospital. So I know there's time for their children. I think that's always like a very tough predicament. But man, I love being a dad. But you know, there's times when it's really hard. And I love my kid. Dylan's like, WTF, LOL. I know. Those are my 2 thoughts, but I wanted to bring it to the chat. Yeah, don't watch Homeward Bound or any of those movies. RH, I went to his poker thing for the Tweaks last night, and it was a lot of fun. I love online poker. I didn't win, but I won a couple of hands, and that was fun. So thanks for doing that. And your brother had some good, Jason looks like he had some good conversation with his wife, I think he said. And that's where we're at. So there you go.
Nice. Yeah, if you guys have any other gratitude, let us know. The practice of sharing gratitude, I think, is, do you feel that practicing the gratitude every day has definitely been a positive for you? Do you think that there's been like a noticeable kind of like shift in mindset?
Oh, because like, I think it's so easy to go to the negative. And I know like yesterday morning, I struggled to focus on a gratitude. Because like, when generally I think people say like, oh, I'm thankful for everything. It's like, you can't be thankful for everything because there's too many things. So I think like really like setting that intention, like, because like, think about how negative our day would be if we jumped on here every morning and it's like, what are you upset about? What pisses you off? Like, there's like 1,000 things to be upset about. I could name a bunch, but it's like, no, I'm going to focus on that like nice thing that happened yesterday. My wife and I went to like a marriage class that a hospital put on when we worked there a couple, like 8 years ago. And one of the things they said is before you go to bed every night, you should talk about like 3 great things that happened that day. And it's just such like a mind shift thing. Because I could be like upset about, I buy these Legos and my kids leave them everywhere. I hate packing lunches. And Bryson hates lacrosse. But like, I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on the positive. And I do feel like it's a mind shift.
Yeah, I think it's I think the gratitude thing, just practicing it makes me feel good that I practice the gratitude. But I think also, you know, talking about these, sometimes it's like the daily readings, the daily meditations aren't the thing that makes the biggest impact for me as much as like the monthly focus. So it's been really helpful. And, again, anyone that's just checking in, we do the daily meditation insert page, single page in the book, The Daily Dad by Ryan Holiday. This month has been all about reading. But to be honest, I mean, a lot of what we do is kind of like, I take it as like a lesson for myself. So I've been reading a lot more, and reading a lot more has been helpful with my sleep. It's been helpful with my focus, and I've loved it. So I had a goal of reading 3 books this month, and I'm almost finishing my first one. So I'm going to see what I can do. Blaze sent me a novel for me to read. So we'll see if I can finish that in the second half of the month there. But well, hold on. I think we just read The Magic Pebble. Or
there you go.
So that done. I'm done. I'm almost done with 2 books.
And I'll encourage you about the novel that you. The last like fourth of the book, all just like references. So it actually, when you do finish it, you're like, oh, that was quicker than I thought it would be. So yeah.
Yeah, I think. I think we definitely. I always use the word catastrophize. We catastrophize. We make things more than they actually are all the time, don't we? 2 things talking about today. Today was the first day that I intentionally left my book at home because I didn't want to put in my book bag. It was going to be too big, and I don't know, I left it at home. But I read it. Gerald Ford, right? Is that who we're talking about today?
I think so. Now that I'm listening to it, I don't like the names that are in it. Don't burn in my head, or like the topic.
Dom, who is the president that we're talking about today in the meditation? Doesn't really matter, right? But anyway, we'll see in a second. Also, Dom's talking about being sick. I grabbed these, by the way. I grabbed them.
I was supposed to grab those today, and I completely forgot. We were gonna take ginger shots together.
We're gonna take one today, though. We're gonna see, because I've been really impressed with the research coming out about ginger shots for immunity and reducing sickness. So Dom keeps taking these black pepper shots. I don't know anything about black pepper, but like these ginger shots are supposed to be great. MP is taking some shots over there. Good stuff. All right. Anyway,
I do want to reach out to MP and Dom. I know you guys are getting over this or trying. So I hope you guys continue to feel better. And Dom was commenting how it's easier to be sick away from the family than with the family. I think if I took that away right, and I agree. So, but I hope that.
What is dose daily? We see Robbie over here saying he's taking dose daily. Always curious about these and seeing what's going on. Oh, there's see for liver soreness. So curious. Okay, we'll see. Anyway, curious about it too. I also know that we have a pretty dedicated person in Robbie taking or using at least the greens powder. What am I thinking? I forget what you say. What's it called again? What's the greens powder right now? Why am I forgetting it? AG1. Robbie taking AG1. I'm curious if AG1 is any different than those shots kind of there too. So anyway, it'd be a good conversation piece at one time.
I would like to hear that Heather got sent like 50 wars. So I'm curious if I should start in touch.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think there's going to be any risk in taking it. And I think the biggest things about some of these green powders is that as long as we're not looking at it as just like a fiber supplement, because there's not usually a lot in there, I think things like vitamin C are a big benefit, but you don't need to take AG1 for that. I think that the probiotic that are usually in there tends to be like over sold and everything else. But I think the best thing about these greens powders people take, while it might not have the biggest benefit, it helps with hydration. I think it helps people kind of schedule things. But I love seeing things just like the amount of vitamin C kind of coming in there, and it definitely helps. But yeah, I think it like overall, I've never seen like a detriment to someone taking it or a risk. So that's always a huge thing there. Back to the meditation for today. Any thoughts on it?
I love today's meditation because what it talked about, and if it's correct what Gerald talked about, the two biggest things get done.
Oh wait, Blaze, hold on, you're breaking up. Do you have did you connect to
Oh, just fell apart. Falling apart, guys. Is that better?
Are you better?
La 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 la.
You still look great.
Okay.
I just yeah, there you go. Just feel like you just motorboated the couch.
Gerald Ford. Gerald Ford, he was talking about how he didn't get enough instruction on communication and public speaking, and that like resonates so deeply. I only took a couple electives when I was in university, and one of those was, I think, writing for the healthcare professional, and it was really about like communication. And like the one thing that I took from it is you always want to tailor your message for your audience, and that just always resonated so deeply with me, because like how I talk to my wife, how I talk to my kids, how I talk to my patients, how I talk to my students, how I talk to you, how I talk to the couch, it's all a different audience, and you need to tweak how you're presenting and carrying yourself in each of those conversations. And so I've always been like very, I think that opened up something for me that if I would have never taken that elective, I would have never thought of. And out of all my nursing school and university, get my bachelor, I think that was probably the best course that I took. And it was just like, because I like to write, and we all have exposure to that. But from the other perspective, I think about how great, because people, there's always like the bad things about social media, but the good things about social media is like we have the opportunity to get on camera like we do here. We have the opportunity to share content on how we're getting our steps. And I've learned a lot from you, Chels, RH, MP, Dom, Nacho, Formed Chaos, Bar Locker, but all the different like stuff that you're putting out and talking about steps. And so it's been awesome. So those are my thoughts on that. And I also think about my kids. Are our kids going to be set up more to be public speakers because of how heavy social media will play in their life and continue?
Yeah, what was my biggest takeaway? I think I was thinking a little bit about like higher education, and not even higher education, I guess any education, because they do talk about, Gerald Ford talks about him being president and then, not getting the things that he thought was going to benefit him so much. And I think he said, he's like, well, we do like square dancing, or we do like dance and physical education. And I think, it brings up the question of like, what should we be focusing in on? Because you know what? I think dancing and square dancing may have really helped another kid out in some sort of way. So to talk negatively about that is obviously, I don't think that's the answer. But I think it is something to stay extremely aware of for your kids on where they seem to be kind of going with their interests, and making sure that if we see a kid that's excelling in social media, maybe we have to make sure that it's like, yeah, great, go to square dancing, but now we as parents need to take on things that accountability and be like, but outside of school, then I have to make sure that I'm going to help you. But maybe there's a really creative kid that doesn't really want to do something like the social media side of things, doesn't want to speak in front of people. So then it's our responsibility to be like, well, yeah, go do square dancing and physical education and PE in school, whatever. But now I'm like, let's also do more dancing if that's the case. So I think what I didn't want it to do for me was be like, oh, school's stupid and we should just like, make sure that we're, working against the system and do our thing to kind of help our own identity and what we want to do in life. I was hoping that wasn't the message, but I think it's more about, for me, was just making sure it's like we as parents, and even for ourselves, is we have to be that aware of where it is that we think our direction's going, whether it's going to be a future president, whether it's going to be a future social media personality, or whether it's just going to be the future, break dancer. I think it's important just to know, like, be aware of what we think we might be excelling at, be aware of what we might need to kind of fill up some of those gaps to be the best that we can in that kind of area. And I think the last thing I'll say is, don't expect something like the school systems, whether it's going to be in public school, private school, higher education, to be giving you all the tools that you need. I think it's only opening up the ideas for what you want to do. So I did love the meditation today because it got me really thinking. So I was grateful for it.
I have to dip out right now because I got this thing, but public speaking, check it out, watch some videos, jump on here. We're going to get Vino Dads together soon. I still have 2 more spaces on the Whatnot thing if people are interested. I just I love the couch. So I hope everybody has the best day.
All right. We love you guys. All right, guys. Coffee and gratitude and hearts. And we love you. All right, guys. Take care. We'll see you soon.